Uh-oh.
Okay, we'll start with this. The latest as it pertains to former unified super featherweight champion Michaela Mayer, who says fight news is coming soon. We sent an offer to Sandy Ryan a few weeks ago, but she turned it down. Pay close attention to who she fights next. Some talk about it, and some are about it.
We covered this a few weeks ago.
Content creator King Amin said, to be fair, Sandy Ryan is trying to unify or become undisputed, and fighting you is, respectfully, an unnecessary risk along that road. Maybe if Tasha Jonas stopped avoiding you, or if Lauren Price offers you a shot, then it would make more sense. To which Michaela responded, it's a risk for sure, but do we stay caught up on the belts? Or do we continue to give the fans the fights that they want to see and go out swinging?
Well, listen, if Sandy were fighting one of the other champions at the weight in her next fight, then I could see, then I could understand. But I don't think that's what she's doing.
Sandy Ryan responded to Michaela's tweet by saying, I'll fight you anytime and any day of the week, drama queen. But when the offer was terrible for me to defend my belt and you come with nothing, I was advised differently by my team. Bit of a contradiction. That's a bit of an oxymoron.
Yeah.
If you're saying you'll fight her any day and any time, then why aren't you fighting her?
Because your team told you not to?
Well, I mean, I guess that's all right, but Sandy can hardly use unifying this division as a reason to not fight Michaela Mayer when her next fight isn't going to be a unification fight. I mean, I know that it isn't because Natasha Jonas and Lauren Price, two of the champions at this weight, they're over there at Boxer.
They fight on Sky Sports.
Unless Sandy is about to have a fight with one of them, unifying this division can hardly be used as an excuse, as a reason to not fight Michaela. And the only other champion at this weight, Ivana Habazin, I mean, unless Sandy's about to have a fight with her, same deal.
Same thing.
Michaela says that they made an offer to Sandy Ryan, but the offer was not to Sandy Ryan's liking, so she rejected it. You have to wonder what the offer was. What, do you want to fight Sandy Ryan on the top-ranked side of things? Is that what it was?
Did you want her to come to America?
Or were you going to fight her in the UK, but not on the Matchroom and DAZN side of things, perhaps on the Boxer Sky Sports side of things? Is that what the offer was? I'm curious as to what Michaela Mayer would have offered Sandy Ryan.
Whatever it was, Sandy turned it down.
Down!
What's interesting is she doesn't seem to have countered it.
That all right.
Fine.
You don't like Michaela's offer. It's not a good offer, so why don't you counter her offer to do the fight on your terms, on your side of things?
Why didn't you do that?
All Sandy Ryan said was that she was advised not to, that Michaela's offer wasn't very good, and that even though she would fight Michaela any day, any time, she was advised by her team not to. So what does that sound like to you?
What do you make of that?
So now, we gotta wait to see who Sandy's fighting, because we know who she's not fighting. She's not fighting Michaela Mayer.
Personally, I don't think she's fighting one of the other champions at the weight either.
So if it's not Michaela, and it's not one of them, who is she fighting? Because these are bad optics. Michaela Mayer herself, she said she's got some fight news incoming, some fight news of her own. And we'll see what that fight news is.
Maybe she'll get lucky and get Ivana Habazin in the ring.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Mayer versus Ryan. It really is an interesting fight, it is. I know that Sandy Ryan manhandled Terry Harper in her last outing, in her last fight, but I happen to think that Michaela Mayer is a tougher nut to crack. a more durable fighter than Terry Harper.
I don't know that Sandy just wears her out and ragdolls her like she did Terry.
Michaela is a little bigger, is a little longer.
She's never been knocked out, and I've seldom ever seen her hurt or buzz.
It'd be interesting if they made it, though it doesn't seem they are about to, so now special focus has to go into who Sandy is fighting and whether or not they're up to scratch. In men's lightweight news, one of Gervonta Davis's coaches, Coach Kenny Ellis, posted this image to his Instagram stories. It reads, Pitbull Terrier, Gervonta Davis, Jack Russell Terrier, Lomachenko, pick your terrier.
Oh, so you're saying that Gervonta's the bigger dog?
The more vicious animal? Is that why it took him 7 years to find his balls?
I thought he was neutered.
After all these years and all this time, I think it's pretty tactless to start talking down Lomachenko now when you didn't avoid him for no reason. I mean, you didn't hold off on having this fight for this amount of time because of what a dog you are. You've got the whole I'm a poor inner city kid gimmick going on.
Just still a coward.
Studying Lomachenko, why all of a sudden these Lomachenko highlight reels are popping up? Are they supposed to be intimidating or something? He won't see the 12th round with Gervonta Davis.
That's what Kenny Ellis said.
Don't speak too soon. Didn't a one-legged Yuriorkis Gamboa make it to the 12th round with Gervonta Davis? And didn't Isaac Cruz? Did he not only see the 12th round, but finish the fight on his feet?
Didn't he go the distance?
We'll see what happens if this fight actually materializes. But as far as my mind is made up. The only fighter who could get credit for winning this fight is Vasyl Lomachenko because you held off on fighting him for years, and it's very obvious. The paper trail is clear as day that you're choosing to fight him now if you do fight him now.
Because he got older.
Which is what you were waiting for 7 years. You don't have the warrior spirit.
You're a gimmick.
A tired old trope. Look at me, the poor inner city kid that made it.
How original.
From nothing to something by avoiding every credible fighter and every credible fight for years and years and years on end. As if there is anything so unique about Gervonta Davis' story. What's to tell?
You're just another protected fighter.
And that you and your coaching staff have finally found your heart, found your balls to fight Vasyl Lomachenko here and now after he's got 1 or 2 more losses in a column and he's in his mid-30s.
Are you guys really that tactless?
And I was just scrolling down my Instagram feed, just looking to see what's out there, and I came across an account that goes by the name Source of Boxing that asked the question, is Tank the pay-per-view king of boxing?
Are you serious?
Is that a serious question? Is Tank the pay-per-view king of boxing? No.
What on earth gave you that idea?
By every quantifiable metric that would tell that story, who the king of pay-per-view is in the American landscape here and now, it's not Tank.
Nothing about his numbers tell that story.
The only figures that are out there right now for Gervonta Davis's last box office fight are from Jedi Goodman, and the numbers ain't nothing to write home about. What you're talking about is a paltry 200,000 buys, just north or just under 200,000 buys.
Canelo sold more than that with John Ryder.
Sold more than that with Dimitri Bivol, with John Ryder, more recently with Jaime Munguia. He sold more than that. The baseline for a Canelo Alvarez pay-per-view is about 2 times bigger than the baseline for a Gervonta Davis pay-per-view. So if there is a pay-per-view king here today, it would have to be Canelo, not Gervonta.
Then why are people playing this game?
Pretending that Gervonta Davis's marquee value and his drawing power is akin to Canelo's. That how could Gervonta Davis even be in the conversation of king of pay-per-views when there's a guy out there who's regularly selling more pay-per-views than he is?
Generating more business, more money than he is.
That's what determines who the king of pay-per-view is. Whoever's selling the most, whoever's drawing the most.
That's Canelo.
The guy at the top of the Forbes list as the highest earning boxer in all of boxing right now, and that's all without Saudi money. That's all without going to Saudi Arabia.
That's Canelo.
So why do these people pretend that it's a discussion, that it's somehow up for debate who the king of pay-per-view is right now? Why do they do that?
Tribalism.
Identity politics.
They want the king of pay-per-view, they want the face of boxing to be a face that they identify with. They don't want it to be a Mexican fighter.
As if that somehow disqualifies him.
It doesn't.
Oh, he may very well be a Mexican national, but more American dollars, more American money is being spent on Canelo Alvarez's fights in terms of attendance and pay-per-view buys than what you're seeing from Gervonta. So it's very clear who the face of boxing is. You just don't want to accept that because it's not a face that looks like yours.
Who the hell said this is about you?
That you think crowning the king of pay-per-view requires your approval. You don't even spend any money on these fights.
Your opinion doesn't count.
It's a nuance of the modern day and age, what is seemingly Gervonta Davis's popularity, which is all predicated upon online metrics and online activity that does not necessarily translate into dollars.
Because he just fought.
But how many dollars did the fight generate? What did it do at the box office?
How many people paid to see it?
So after he racks up another highlight reel knockout over some nobody, it's all over Instagram, it's all over Twitter.
It seems like everybody's talking about it, and maybe everybody is, but not everybody paid for it.
So while word travels fast, the money doesn't seem to.
Nope.
It's a nuance of the modern day and age. The notoriety Gervonta has achieved versus the actual money that he generates or doesn't generate.
Right.
Because if this thing did astronomical numbers, we would have heard about it by now.
Everybody knows that it didn't.
It's ridiculous the way they try to disguise the mediocrity, the mediocre matchmaking, the mediocre numbers.
Mediocre!
All fueled by tribalism and identity politics.
That's it.
Nobody cares about your identity and nobody cares about your politics.
Mediocre!
What is it? You couldn't think of somebody better to idolize, so you put this guy on a pedestal. I notice what the common practice in the American market is, that the more accomplished fighters in the sport, whether it's Usyk or Inoue or Canelo or even Terrence Crawford, an American national, who don't say much, but they get the job done in the ring.
These guys don't like them, but they love Gervonta.
They don't like the guys that not only move up in weight, but take on the champions and unify the division, shoot for undisputed.
They don't like that.
But Gervonta's sitting at 135 since 2019, having never fought a champion there, knocking out droopy-eyed Frank. That's impressive.
The only thing that guy's known for is ducking Shakur Stevenson.
I hear all this stuff about Gervonta Davis finally coming around to fighting Davis-Lomachenko, and I tell myself, he must be desperate.
Those Frank Martin numbers must have been real bad.
But I wouldn't get too excited. I wouldn't get ahead of myself thinking that Gervonta Davis is going to actually fight Davis-Lomachenko, because rumor has it, he might not. Rumor has it, he might fight somebody else.
Somebody who he already fought.
I tried to fight Isaac Cruz, and I spoke to his manager. They just said, whoa. Not yet. We just got the belt, champ. We got to go and focus on trying to get a Gervonta Davis rematch. So y'all going to see that very soon, by the way. Yeah, I'm saying it like it is. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
And finally, as it pertains to Ryan Garcia's suspension and just everything that's been going on, it was brought to my attention that there's a content creator here on YouTube working very hard to try to make this about the Haneys as much as possible.
Since this is the only kind of content that this content creator uploads.
A month ago, they uploaded a very popular video that got around quite a bit. It's up to 352,000 views now, and it was about the Haneys and their relationship with Victor Conti, with the centerpiece being putting the Haneys in a negative light.
Due to the negativity associated with Ryan's situation, what he's got going on, it's very obvious that what this individual hopes to do is offset that by painting the Haneys in a negative light, shedding a negative light on them.
So much of the focus is centered around the Haneys' relationship with Victor Conti, and it's a bit too convenient to start harping about that now, that you only now started talking about that after Ryan tests positive for a banned substance.
Is this your way of trying to get the heat off of him?
By suggesting that Devin Haney is somehow guilty of something, that Devin Haney is breaking rules. What rules is he breaking?
Is he suspended like Ryan is suspended?
You know the answer. What it reminds me of is that young Pharaoh guy that made all those videos about Glovegate. Back when Wilder got his ass kicked by Tyson Fury in the second fight, do you remember that guy?
I remember.
How he essentially helped to manufacture a conspiracy where there wasn't one. Manufacture a conspiracy out of thin air that never had any basis in reality.
Because Tyson Fury was never under investigation, and neither is Devin Haney.
So in this channel that goes by the name The Exodus Files, when it was brought to my attention, that's what immediately came to mind, that the only way you can hope to get the heat off of Ryan is to manufacture a conspiracy about Devin. And some people are actually going for it. Some people eat it up.
Of course.
Let's not play like we haven't. We don't need to even talk about boxing. We know a lot of stuff that we shouldn't know because the internet is relevant now. Now in this relevant, you can't sit here and tell me that this dude wasn't set up and he really did take steroids to beat a person.
And that's the angle. That's still the angle for some people.
That everything that's happening with Ryan is the result of a conspiracy against him by Bill Haney, by Victor Conti, by Vada.
The Exodus Files, as it were, is uploading videos for those individuals so far gone.
So off the deep end.
They would sooner believe that there is a plot against Ryan Garcia than Ryan is just another dirty boxer that got caught.
No matter how obvious it is.
You said it was the vials. That's what you said, right? But the fighter Ryan is saying it was his supplements. So where did you get the vials?
Never dealt with this energy before. Go ahead.
Where did you get the vials from? Like, where did that information come from?
Well, think about it. Who controls Vada?
Who?
Who started Vada? Come on, you know this. You should know this.
Fred Flintstone.
I had a conversation with one of these space cases in one of the recent lives I did, and you can hear that the guy's got a speech impediment, and you can make the inference that he's not all there upstairs.
That his powers of deduction are either greatly lacking or he's being willfully obtuse to protect Ryan's image, because that's what it's come to.
Why did Ryan say it came from his supplements? Why did he say that?
The supplements is what you pee out. Is that not what you pee out? Yes or no?
No.
So when you survey the lack of cognitive function in an individual like that, surely you can see how a conspiracy theory like this could gain traction.
The guy doesn't even know what supplements are. It sounds like he doesn't know that Ryan Garcia's story has changed. He went from blaming the Haneys and Victor Conti and Vada to saying he took some contaminated supplements.
He either doesn't know, doesn't understand, or pretends not to understand. And these are the individuals that will prop up this manufactured controversy in reference to the Haneys to get the heat off of Ryan Garcia.
But don't worry.
Because as much as guys like this like to puff out their chest online, in the real world, they have no bearing over what's actually happening and what's actually going on. You can argue with as many people online as you like. Ryan Garcia is still suspended.
The Exodus Files can upload as many videos as they want.
It's not going to change anything, and it's not going to help Ryan, no more than those Glovegate videos helped Deontay Wilder.
It has no effect on the real world.
And these people don't live in the real world. They stay in the digital one.
Because it's the only place they have a voice.
These are just hermits with too much time on their hands. No one listens to them.